Hey kids, so this is a chart. They call it the spider web chart. At least that's what my trig teacher taught me. It's basically a summary of the earlier videos where we did sine of 30 degrees. All right, this chart tells us that sine of 30, if you follow it on this green path right here, sine of 30 is root 1 over 2. All right, which is kind of a weird way to say it. It's really just 1/2, but you'll see why I'm doing this. There's a pretty clear pattern here. If you're reading sine, I guess it'd be counterclockwise. You get root 1 over 2, root 2 over 2, and then root 3 over 2. All right. If you're reading cosine, you'd have to start from the top going clockwise. You get the same thing, 1, 2, 3. All those are over 2. And then to figure out tangent, I've already got them written here. And these were the same answers we got whenever we did it using the 45-45 and the 30-60-90 triangles. To get these, though, I don't memorize these. I actually think back to what sine of 30 degrees is and what cosine of 30 degrees is. And then I kind of just stack them on top of each other. So we know how tangent is equal to sine over cosine. So if I want to know tangent of 30, what I do is I think about what sine of 30 is. Sine of 30 is root 1 over 2. And I think about what cosine of 30 is, which is root 3 over 2. So what happens is that the 2's in the bottom just cancel each other out. And so you're left with 1 over root 3. Or if you rationalize the denominator, that's how we're getting the root 3 over 3. Okay, so that's how this chart works. You don't have to memorize these, but I mean, you do need to know them. Later on, we're going to talk about the same idea, but with radians, and it's really handy to have them on the tip of your tongue. All right, so it's not a bad idea to memorize this chart, but notice the pattern. That's where it's really going to hold together. All right, let's use this pattern to go ahead and figure out sine of 0 degrees and sine of 90 degrees, whatever that means. It's kind of hard to think of it in terms of the triangle definition, whenever we were doing this right here, because you can't really have a triangle, a right triangle, with, two 90-degree angles, or you can't have a triangle with a 0-degree angle. It's weird. But I think it'll be pretty clear, and it is true, just using the pattern of numbers here. All right, so let's do sine of 90 first. So sine of 90 is going to be right here. What you have is you just continue the pattern. You've got 1 over 2, 2 over 2, root 3 over 2. So this one is going to be root 4 over 2. And square root of 4 is equal to 2, so you get 2 over 2. That means that sine of 90 degrees is 2 over 2, or 1. All right. If you want to do sine of 0 degrees, you just do the same thing but count backwards. So you get root 4 over 2, 3, 2, 1. This one's going to be 0 degrees. Now, with cosine, it works the exact same, except it works backwards. So if sine of 90 degrees was equal to a 1, then cosine of 0 degrees is going to equal 1. This is like the root 4 over 2. And then if you count it the other way, you're going to get 0 for this other one up here. So the pattern continues. So root 4, root 3, root 2, root 1, and then 0. Let's go ahead and do tangent of these. So tangent of 0, well, this is going to be equal to sine of 0 divided by the cosine of 0. And sine of 0 degrees is equal to 0, so you get 0 divided by 1. So tangent of 0 is equal to 0. All right. And then we'll look at tangent of 90. hopefully you see what's going to happen here. This one's kind of a good one. Tangent of 90. Let's see here. It's going to be sine of 90 over cosine of 90. Cos of 90. Well, cosine of 90, if you read up here in this chart, cosine of 90 is equal to 0. So you get something, which I think it's a 1. Yeah. You get 1 divided by 0, which is undefined. So you could say this is undefined for tangent of 90, or a lot of charts, a lot of books, they're going to put an infinity symbol there to represent the same thing. So go ahead, write this chart out if you need to. Memorize it. It's worth knowing. All right. It's going to be real handy. Like these values right here, the sine of 30 is one value that your calculator will do. But let's say you're looking at cosine of 30. Cosine of 30, if you were to type that into the calculator, it's going to give you this decimal mess. But the exact answer for cosine of 30 is root 3 over 2. All right, this is going to be way more helpful doing math with.